and welcome to my review of the Lenovo Ideapad Flex Pro 14-inch 2-in-1 notebook. This model has a 1.6 GHz Intel Core i5-8250U quad-core CPU, 8 GB of non-upgradable DDR4 memory, 256 GB of upgradable PCIe storage, although it is very hard to get to, and a 14-inch 1080p IPS touchscreen with pen support. There was a higher spec model with a slightly faster processor, 16 GB of RAM, and a 512GB SSD, as well as a 4K display. However, at the time of making this video, that model seems to be discontinued, at least in the platinum color. I paid $600 USD for mine from B&H a few months ago, and after using it with the Lenovo Active Pen as my primary laptop, here are my thoughts. The Flex Pro is fully aluminum or some sort of alloy, and it feels sturdy. The 360 hinge that grants this its 2-in-1 name is strong, stable, and visually satisfying. It can be a little weird to rotate the display sometimes, however it is completely acceptable. None of the edges are incredibly sharp, however the bottom edges of the base of the notebook can be a little uncomfortable on your wrists after a long typing session. This is a shame because otherwise typing is rather nice on this keyboard. The layout is acceptable, albeit with a slightly awkward control key placement that makes you strain your pinky or thumb to reach it. The key travel is satisfying and tactile, with little noticeable flex. It's also backlit, and though it's nothing special, it is nice to see. Moving down, the trackpad is another strong point. It's precise, with firm left and right click zones, and feels adequately sized in comparison with the keyboard. No complaints here. Overall, the laptop is durable, feels premium, and looks phenomenal. The only issue so far is a small chip on the left side edge of mine. I'm unsure exactly how this happened, but it's certainly unfortunate and does feel like a lot of damage for such a thin chassis. This is the most interesting aspect of the notebook, so let's get into it. The 1080p display looks good. The viewing angles are good, which is no surprise given that it is an IPS panel. The colors, however, are not incredible. It looks fine, but it feels somewhat tinted yellow. This is reduced by adjusting the performance/battery life ratio to favor the latter, but never fully goes away. It's not a deal breaker, but is noticeable. What is a larger issue is the peak brightness. I don't know what it is exactly, but I feel it's around 280 nits. It feels dim, even at full brightness. Okay, so it's a disappointing display for the $600 price point. But let's move on to the pen and touch support. It's pretty damn good, and for drawing it's definitely not bad. The Lenovo Active Pen is no Apple Pencil, nor is it included with the laptop. However, I recommend you pick it up if you're interested in digital art, and the built-in Wacom digitizer makes this a great 2-in-1 for drawing, if you can live without perfect color representation, that is. The laptop charges via USB-C, a great feature to see on a laptop in this price range. That charge port can be used for other accessories alongside a second USB-C port, a headphone jack, and finally a USB-A port. I would have loved another USB-A port, especially since the pen holder mechanism takes it up. The webcam on mine is disabled for some reason, so I'll have to see what setting got messed up, but it did work for a while and wasn't anything special. 720p webcams don't look much better than they did, so don't expect much. Also, no Windows Hello facial recognition, but the fingerprint reader is a nice feature with decent placement. The dual JBL downwards firing speakers are pretty good, but the microphone array is nothing to brag about. The battery life is pretty close to all day, however your mileage may vary depending on your power saving settings. Luckily, if you don't make it that far, it charges pretty quickly. I like this laptop, and despite some flaws, I recommend it as a good mid-range 2-in-1 for students and artists alike. 3.9 out of 5 stars.